I'd like to invite you to a journey to the past. Think back to a time when you really got lucky. Think back to a time when serendipity changed your life. Maybe that chance encounter, maybe that wrong turn that opened a new world, maybe that mistake that led to so many good things. I've been obsessing about serendipity in the past years. My question is, can you systematically increase good luck? Can you design serendipity? In this talk, I'll share with you the playbook I'm creating for designing serendipity. Before we get into the 3 steps in designing serendipity, please note how those words make you feel. Designing serendipity. Listen to your curiosity. We will make use of that note in a few minutes. So, in the past few years, I've been collecting and testing tools and frameworks for designing serendipity. There are 3 steps. First, plant the seeds of serendipity. Second, notice and nurture the sprouting of serendipity. And third, harvest the fruits of serendipity. Let me share an actual application of this playbook. 2020 was just the worst year. 12 months ago, my city was in COVID lockdown, and never have I felt so powerless. Yet, I led my most interesting project because of 2020, Project Accessible Genomics. This was only possible because of designing serendipity. We have been hearing about the variants of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. What we are not told in the news is that the ability to track these variants is generally limited to rich countries. Almost exactly 365 days ago, I started a project to help fix this. I built an international volunteer team of students and professional scientists. We got funding. We partnered with a lab here in Davao, Philippines. We organized trainings for that lab. We sent them a low cost sequencer and we sent them the special chemicals needed to run the sequencer. And last March, that lab made history. It was the first ever sequencing of SARS-CoV-2 enabled by volunteers, not governments, not academic institutions. It was also the first on-site sequencing of any organism in the region of Mindanao, Philippines. In our next round of sequencing in a few weeks, CNN will be visiting to do a story on us. This is 0 to 1 project management, bringing to life a project that has never been done before. You need a special toolkit for this. You need to design serendipity. So, how do you design serendipity? Remember, 3 steps: plant the seeds of serendipity, notice and nurture the sprouting of serendipity, and harvest the fruits of serendipity. We have limited time, so I'll only share one tool per step in this talk. So, first, how do we plant the seeds of serendipity? A useful concept is the luck surface area. So, how do we increase our luck surface area? It's simple, by doing and telling. We do something we are passionate about, then we share what we are doing. The professional scientists who joined me in Project Accessible Genomics joined me because they trusted me. They trusted me because they followed me in Twitter and saw my Twitter threads. Those Twitter threads were about the genomics papers I read, and those were simply my public notes. I was simply working with the garage door open. I was simply learning in public. So these things, working in public make you lucky. So that's the first tool. Work in public. Be open. Open your garage. So first, plant the seeds of serendipity. Second, notice and nurture the sprouting of serendipity. So remember earlier when I asked you to listen to your curiosity, we need to learn to listen to it to open the door to serendipity. We need to train our instincts to look into the unknown, and instead of seeing fear, we see adventure. Project Accessible Genomics started as a small voice of curiosity. How could I use this technology I've been obsessing about to fight this pandemic? I opened that door, and now here we are. Okay, so first, plant the seeds of serendipity. Second, notice and nurture the sprouting of serendipity. And third, harvest the fruits of serendipity. You cannot say yes to inspiration if you do not have slack. You need breathing room to get lucky. You need slack to harvest the fruits of serendipity. The best exercise I've encountered for planning how to increase your slack is called the slack inventory. So my version is a table which helps you think about the sources of slack and the sources of tightness in your life. At the end of this talk, I will share a link to this table. So my last company actually failed to scale, but because of the failure, it became instead a lifestyle business. So a business which pays the bills and also allows me to play long games like Project Accessible Genomics. So, so I could only share one tool in each of these three stages of designing serendipity. I have more, but we have to end this talk. We started by looking at the past. Now let's look to the future. Visualize all the good things that would happen to you in the future. I see a growing web of possibilities. The simple truth is that it is impossible to predict 99.9999% of the good things that could happen to us. We have to have a playbook for handling those all those good things. We already have a playbook for handling the small sliver of good things we could plan. We call that project management. For those good things that we could not foresee, I'm building a playbook and it's called Designing Serendipity. So, if that resonates with you, please sign up at designingserendipity.com or message me. So, all the things I promised to link to earlier could also be found there. So, once again, listen to your curiosity and open the door to serendipity.